this is what it does to the coolers, to the machines, to the turbos, and especially the imports seem to pay the price here.
That's right.
Notice the family involvement with Adam's car. That's a real nice feature. You see that in a lot of forms of racing, and it's great to have the whole family involved, and that's real nice to see.
Yeah, his dad's a real sportsman. Comes out here to win also, and he supports his son 100%.
These guys are really, really intense right now because they're basically in a race against the clock.
That's right.
They have a certain allotted time between races. Then they have to go back and stage again, and they have to stage on this asphalt, and the heat is almost unbearable inside the car. Now, you saw Adam when he came in from his last run. He's got this little top on the car where he can help ventilate some of that heat. And we can get a look at the top of the car here. You might even be able to see it if you left it open because it's almost like a sunroof that he has, and you can just see it at the top of your screen right there. And he opens that up to help generate a little bit of cool air flowing through the inside because this is very, very taxing on the driver to drive and perform to an extreme level under these kind of conditions. And you saw Adam did not waste any more time than he had to in that fire suit.
Larry, do you think they could drop the temperature of that car 50 or 60 degrees? Seems like that's what they need to do to make it race ready again.
Couldn't tell you. I'm sure he's hoping that he can get that engine as cool as possible, but I don't know exactly how cool he needs it. Adam's a real competitor. He'll take care of business, assure you that.
I know the muscle cars are equipped with electric fans that run for the duration when they park them in the pits. It keeps circulating the coolant through the motor and all that, so that helps them, but I'm not really up to date on what your guys can do to try to gain that advantage.
Well, a lot of them, they can keep it just running. That's what they want to do.
Is that right?
Yeah. They want to shut them down right away. Those engines, those rotors get very, very hot. Very small motor.
Now, Randy, one thing that the domestics seem to be able to do, and that I've done on some of my race cars before, and tell me if this works for the big block guys the same way it did on my small block. I ran a 358 roller for a good while and had a lot of good luck with it. We brought the car in hot weather when it was really, really getting warm. You get an electric fan on the back, you shut the car down, and you pull all the air through that you can.
That's
then
right.
You have cold water in that air, and you can use that.
Yeah, that's right. And you can cool the manifold. Some of them have cool cans for the fuel lines, which helps a real lot because the cooler the fuel is, the better the air-fuel mixture. So there's a few things they can do, and hopefully we'll be ready. I think we've got a great round coming up here between Lon Schultz and Don St. Hours. The cars are both representative of cars that we feature in Popular Hot Rodding magazine. We run the gamut between AMC, Ford, Chrysler, Chevy, of course, Pontiac, Olds, and the whole bit. So we've got a good representation here.
Everybody fighting the heat here, trying to get their machinery and their drivers and their fans as cool as possible, as quickly as possible, because once again, these guys are under a time limit, and we are down to 2 final races left. First of all, you're going to see Lon Schultz against Don St. Hours, who's working on brakes like a madman right now. It's one thing to get going, and Don St. Hours is very, very good at that in his Camaro, but you got to stop it once the run is over, and that's the concern for him right now. We checked with Laura a few minutes ago in the pits. Hopefully, we'll catch you up on that. They didn't seem to think that it would be that big a problem. I wonder if the brakes failed because of the heat or because of possibly bursting a cylinder.
Well, the heat tends to make the fluid boil in the master cylinder, and once the fluid boils, you basically have no brakes. So I'm sure they'll get it handled. I saw Don with his hand over by the master cylinder, so I'm sure they were running some more fluid through it, flushing the system, bleeding it, make sure there's no air bubbles in there, and I think they'll be fine.
Is that the best way to do it rather than try to cool the fluid that remains?
Sure.
Lon Schultz makes his way up to the staging area. You're going to say, in fact, you're seeing him right now in the left lane. He'll be the near lane to the camera. That's Lon Schultz in the 1972 AMC Javelin. And this was a car that, when it was first produced, it didn't make that big a splash.
No, it sure did. But there's still an awful lot of diehard AMC people out there. We write to them every week, every month, and they're still fans of what they have.
And I'll tell you another car that was just a second here watching Lon Schultz do his burnout to get warmed up. Another car that came out, it was a 1970 and 71 Ford Torino. Again, not a very big splash when it came out, but you're trying to find one now.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, I found one.
Watch Don's burnout. A little shorter than last time.
Don St. Hours again. This is a 1969 Chevrolet?
Yes, 69 Camaro.
Parked the 67 Camaro, going with the 69 instead, and he makes it all the way to the finals of the domestic cars simply by working really, really hard overnight and driving about 500 miles to get his Camaro up on the line.
Very sought after car because this was a 1-year only body style, so that's why there's a lot of fans for the 69-year Camaro.
This is also the year, I believe, that they dropped the 302s in as well.
That's right. That's right. Very popular. Well, let's see if there's any starting line games here to see who can get the advantage on the tree.
This is it. Whoever wins this race goes on. And we've got a foul. Oh, my goodness. We've got a foul with Don St. Ours. He jumps too early, and Lon Schultz has a cakewalk all the way to the finals. Lon Schultz pulled off an upset in the first race. He had smoke coming out from under his car. He turns a 10.587. Is that one happy guy or what? He has been an underdog all day long.
Well, there's a chance that Don could have had a brake problem and the car might have crept through the beams. A lot of times that's the case since there was a brake problem in the previous round.
Now, take a look at this, though, Randy. It looked as if the car really lurched. I wouldn't think that necessarily a brake problem. Watch the Camaro on the right side of your screen. The RPMs are up. The brakes are on. We're waiting for reaction time, and he didn't even have the second or rather the first light yet. He really jumped there big time.
Yeah. That's too bad. He's a tough competitor.
Is that simply driver error, or could it be brake still?
It could be both, yeah.
Black smoke pours out from under the Javelin. Now let's take a look inside the car.
This is the Javelin we're in.
Look at that. Lon Schultz driving with one hand, taking his sweet time, using the left butt to get a little nitrous going. Then he's all over the brakes, and boy, what a great run. Lon Schultz has got to be one happy guy, shaking his fist inside the cockpit. Laura's talking to him.
Hey, Don. I'm here with Don St. Hours. How was that run? How's the brake skill this time?
I'm Lon Schultz.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's hot out here. It's affecting my brain, right? I'm sorry. How was the run?
I never saw Donnie. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he broke or if he red lighted or what. I just let out of the nitrous and ran through on the motor. I guess I'm going to have to step it up for next round. We'll see what we can do.
Are you going to have time to make changes for the next round?
I can do anything to him. I'm going to leave it as it is.
You think you have the power to win this race?
I'm hoping.
All right. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Boy, that's a confident guy, I'll tell you. He's not going to do anything any different at all. In the meantime, we're going to treat you to something that I didn't expect and you didn't expect, but I'm not sure I would ever do. I've driven a lot of race cars in my life, but I always had the security of 4 wheels underneath me.
Japanese bikes, they can move down the track.
Boy, they can. Now let's watch them heat this thing up. This is going to be fun. Once again, some very special guests joining us here. We've got a Ninja in the near lane. We're going to have some exhibition runs, and if this is the bike that I think it is, it's another beautiful paint job. We've had 3 or 4 bikes out here this weekend where the paint job was probably worth more than my car. They're off once again, and sure enough, the Ninja has taken off and left the competition. He blazes past the line with a 9.956. Boy, that'll hold a candle to some of the cars we've seen out here. 138.397 miles per hour. And now we get really down and dirty. Pull out some big horsepower here.
These big guns have the wheelie bars on the back.
This looks similar to what they
Like
used
a
to call
rocket.
a funny bike.
Now, just before we go to this run, and this is going to be a good one, so I want you to see this in just a minute. Let's jump down to Mark Vaughn. He's standing by in the import pits. Mark?
I'm telling you, some of the problems you can have, of all the problems you could possibly have in a drag race, you'd never thought that the glove box door would be the problem. But the glove box door came off last time. It didn't do any damage. This time it came off and it ripped apart the fuel injector electronics. Adam is in there right now feverishly trying to replug all that. I think what they need is a bunch of good duct tape, racer's tape. That'll do the trick, but it looks like they're getting it together, and it looks like they'll be ready to head out there and really rip it up. This will be a great final. Steve?
Whatever you do, do not fix it right. Put it back on with duct tape. That's the only way to go. Now we're starting to fire up some bikes up here on the front line, and man, we've seen a couple of really good burnouts and nice runs, but I feel sorry for these guys. Their feet are on the pavement, and am I the only guy that's noticed that they're sitting there in black leather head to toe?
Full
On
leather,
black
head to
bikes.
toe. That's what it takes.
Like sitting in a microwave.
That's right.
Moving at 140 miles an hour.
It's like strapped on a missile.
Time to pop the clutch and light them up for our next drag bike.
This will be a wild ride. What's it up on the wheelie bar?
These are some wonderful exhibition runs, and you really get to see the skill that it takes. This is not like piloting a normal bike. You know why? Not just because of the horsepower or the speed, but because you have a slick about 10 or 12 inches wide on the rear. It does not steer like a normal bike. It almost has to steer itself. You have to horse it with your weight back and forth and left and right as you go down the 1320. Here we go. You cannot get these bikes even slightly out of shape where you find yourself in big trouble because of those speeds, and look at the size of those rear tires on those bikes. You do not have the ability to recover.
860, that's quick on two wheels.
It's a very, very dangerous game. 860's really, really fast on anything. I haven't done an 860 in a car yet. Let's jump back and look at this one more time and check out the line launch that the near lane gets. Really, really good. These guys crouch way, way down. Aerodynamics is really important for them. Now, in the far lane, you saw the guy crouch way down. In the near lane, he's kind of sitting up on his bike a little more. And they have a huge slick on the rear of these tires. And sure enough, we wondered if he would get it up on the wheelie bars, and he touched
Certainly
them.
did.
Leaning that bike to the left, trying to keep it in line.
You called it, Steve. The body weight has a lot to do with how they finesse these machines down the quarter mile.
And the winner of our last race got about 1/4 of the way down the track, hit another gear, and if you see it in slow motion, this happens so fast at the snap of a finger, it's almost imperceptible in real time. But when he gets about 1/3 of the way down the course, we saw him shift gears, and the back of the bike skids out by about 6 or 8 inches, which you've got to feel in the seat of your pants. I would not be comfortable with that.
I'm sure it gets your attention.
That would be spooky. We got a Kawasaki in the near lane. We're going to rip them up and rock and roll. A big jump and another glance over the right shoulder for the bike in the far lane. Pieces flying off that bike as well. Now, I thought it was really gutsy for Adam Sarawatari to glance over his shoulder in a car. This guy glances over his shoulder with 2 wheels. Let's look at it one more time. A big hole shot in the far lane. The Kawasaki gets off just a little bit slower. And now when we get about halfway down the course, I want you to watch the leader over in the far lane, and he's going to glance over his right shoulder and say, how far are we out here? Can I still make this all right? He's already done it by that point, and it looked like one of the wheels off the wheelie bars. You think it's
like, sure.
Stand right down all the way down right to the left. Take a picture of the street.
Let's catch you up on where we are at with our cars. And then there were 2. Guys, we're ready for the championship. This is what we have prepared for all weekend long. And this is what you two have been arguing about for the last 2 hours.
Well, it's been more than 2 hours. How long have I known you, Randy?
Too long. I don't even admit that I know you to a lot of people, you know. You do a great job with your book, though.
Yeah, thanks.
Now we're going to take a closer look at Adam Sarawatari's car. Once again, they have the glove box come open. I can imagine his registration and everything flying out all over the place. That would be a horror story.
Adam has been the victim of bad luck at a lot of these races. Little things like this glove box door, those things happen to Adam. I don't know why. Well, maybe it's...
Well, it sounds like a minuscule problem, but if that's the cause of an electronic failure because of it, then that's a big deal.
You're right, Randy.
Any idea what he's doing down there with those blankets and those pads?
Well, he's probably, at this point, trying to catch whatever may come out of there. A little nut, a little bolt, anything. I'm not sure. You know, I'm sure he doesn't want to lose anything down there.
It looks like he's not reinstalling the glove box.
Mark is down in the pits right now, and Mark solved a mystery for us. What did they decide to do?
They've patched it together. You can see Adam over there. He's sweating more right now than he was when he was in the race car, but he managed to jury rig something. We don't know what. Hopefully the fuel injection will work. There's Adam's dad cranking on the nitrous bottle. They're getting in, the toe strap is hooked up, and they'll be out there on the drag strip ready to go.
Mark, it looked like he was in a real hurry. I heard him turn around and say, let's go, let's go.
He was definitely in a big hurry. I don't know. Talk about pressure. This man is under pressure, and he's handling it quite well. He's doing what he needs to do to get out there, and it looks like he'll be ready to go. He's shut off, and he's the toe strap's hooked up, and he'll be on his way.
I was going to ask you if they had the towed vehicle down there yet. I can see him putting his head work on right now, getting ready to put the helmet on too, Mark.
That's right. That big AM General Hummer, that thing could tow like probably 20 of these RX-7s. They're so lightweight. But there he goes. He's pulling out of the pits, and he's going to line up. This is really exciting stuff, I tell you.
Mark, did they have time to sufficiently cool the engine? You were there. You got to see what they did under the hood. Did they get done what they wanted to accomplish?
They had bags of ice out there at the finish line where they turned off of the track. There were bags of ice on the injectors, on the intake manifold. They had everything. And right now, I didn't see if they had the fans hooked up or not. But I guess the way we will find out is if they do it when they get out there.
Thanks a bunch, Mark. He's in Adam Sarawatari's pits. That 93 Mazda RX-7 is going to be up on the line here in just a couple of minutes. And I want to talk to Larry a little bit about Adam's races. Let's recap the way the day has gone for him. One thing that I have noticed consistently, race in and race out, is that this thing gets off the line and gets a tremendous hole shot.
He gets the launch every time, and I'm going to tell you, this thing is set up, the suspension is very trick. This car has a lot of torque, a lot more torque than our front-wheel drives, and he uses every bit of it. And that wing, remember we talked about the wing? Comes in handy.
Here he is in his second run. Talk about the competition here. We expected more.
Yeah, I thought Ray was actually going to, at least keep up. Didn't happen.
You know, in every race that Adam has had, he's jumped off the line, jumped off the line, jumped off the line. But when he went against Lockheed, it seemed as if he really out-torqued him on down further. Is that a change in driving tactics? Or?
Well, Adam has a lot of experience. I don't know about Ray, but I know that Adam has been through several drag racing schools. He's 24 years old. He's been through drag racing schools that the professionals go to. And, that kind of driving education really helps.
Helps with the discipline.
Certainly does.
Now, Larry, it's our chance to talk a little bit about Lon Schultz. And this guy, to me, is the story of the day.
That's
I
right.
never expected him to survive this long.
Well, we can call him the giant killer.
What got him through this race? Once again, it looks as if he was beat.
I think that was our ET run where the quicker time won.
Right.
Here it was just a clear advantage. Greg Davis had a problem with the Chevy too.
Yeah, now Greg really had an opportunity to win this. You saw how close he made it at the very, very end.
Yeah.
I think that problem with parts falling off the car and the exhaust mask slowed him even a 10th.
Yeah. And here he is in the semifinal where he beat Don St. Hours.
And Don St. Hours, another really disappointed guy that we expected a possible win from.
Yeah, he was the hitter here, definitely. So much experience.
So Lon Schultz is not supposed to be here.
Well, that's what happens in drag racing. There's an old saying, anything can happen, and usually does.
It's exciting, and you are about to see the final. This is the showdown. This is the first time it's been done. It's the imports against Detroit. This is what we promised you, okay? We've got some really exciting stuff coming up here. All the racing's over, all the talking's over, all the arguments are behind us, and now it's time to go. Time to show what you've got and run what you brought, guys.
Right.
We're going to pop up the hood one more time with Adam Sarawatari and wonder what is going on. This is kind of scary because Adam has had his work cut out for him trying to get this thing going.
Well, he's had the quickest times here, but I think he's really under the most pressure just because of that problem in the semifinal and trying to get that electronics hooked up again and back up to operating to where they're used to running. So I think he's under the most pressure here. That could be the factor.
Yeah, Randy, these are real high-tech cars,
Definitely.
and anything can happen. It's the smallest thing.
That's right. That's right. A lot of times the race can be lost in the pits between rounds. There's a lot of pressure here.
The amazing thing about this race is that from a total event standpoint, I expected to learn a lot about what is represented on the West Coast with some of the fastest cars in America. I did not necessarily expect to learn so much about the personalities and the stories behind it and the way things have worked out. We expected Adam to be here. We didn't expect Lon.
Right. Apparently they're getting a little bit extra time to cool that car down.
Lon's had a little bit of luck. He's done an awful lot of hard work and some brilliant driving to get here. Adam, meanwhile, was easily the favorite, at least in my book. What do you think, Larry?
When you go by reaction time in ET.
Yeah, reaction time in ET. I thought he was a real favorite with the import group, and here he is in the finals, and he's done nothing but have problem after problem, small nagging problems, like Larry mentioned a few minutes ago.
Yep.
Sarvatari fires it up, trying desperately to get this RX-7 up in line to make it and possibly pull off a $10,000 win. That is what's on the line here. They put the hood down, and you're going to get a chance to ride with Adam Sarvatari and take a look at this run from his angle. Opposite Sarvatari, Lon Schultz in a 1972 AMC Javelin. If you went away for a couple of minutes, you may not know that it's Chevy powered. That's important, too, because they dropped in, what was it, a 350 block?
It was a 400 board, 30 thousandths over to a 406.
406. Time to get serious. Time to heat the tires up. $10,000 on the line, not to mention the bragging rights of being the fastest import or the fastest Detroit product on the entire west coast of the United States of America. He didn't burn as long as I expected.
No, I'm surprised.
He probably doesn't want to build too much more heat in the engine.
That's a good point. That's what they've been fighting all day long. And he seems to be working on something. Again, this is where the problems came beforehand. They're trying to fill that. They're trying to stuff anything that they can find, any kind of material, up inside that glove box. Why would they be doing that?
Well, I think he has his ignition system up in that glove box, and that ignition system can fly out. Most likely there's some damage with the glove box. He's opening it up. He doesn't want to lose it.
Lon Schultz will take a moment to warm up his Javelin. This is a Javelin SST, a really sharp car with a 406 Chevrolet engine.
And it sounds good in the burnout.
Boy, it does.
Yeah, it does.
And that's coming from an import.
You surprised I said that, huh?
Yeah.
Everything seems calm on Lon's side of the fence here, so I guess all the pressure's in the other lane.
If we go strictly by the clock and by their average time, what would the clock say?
I think the clock would be in Adam's favor. He's clearly got the best reaction times and quicker ETs.
We're lining them up, and we are running out of time, guys. The tires are hot. They creep up past the staging area, past the water box, and we are ready to rock and roll. This is what we've been waiting for. Look at the lights and enjoy it. Straight legal. Detroit versus the imports. Adams on the line. What's hanging in there, though? On the far right, Lon Schultz behind just by a few car lengths, and boy, the argument is over. Adam Sarvatari has done it. Man, oh man, has he turned in a ride. This is almost the same time that his previous record was.
4:23 reaction time. He had quite a few hundredths in the bank right off the starting line. That's where the race was right there.
Yeah, he wanted out of the hole, that's for sure. But you know, Adam's a real mature young man. Let's see what happens.
Boy,
That shows a lot of coolness under pressure.
that was really, really a fine race. It did come out maybe as you predicted, maybe by the clock. He got the whole shot over Lon, and Lon never seemed to be able to make that up.
0.07 of a second is a lot of time on the starting line. That's clearly what it was.
Now let's take a look at it. Once you get about 100 or 200 feet down the course, right into this area right here, Lon gets a little sideways, but from here on out, he almost pulls even with it.
Yeah, and that's the nitrous oxide and the horsepower under the hood that's pulling him on the top end.
Boy, Lon has got to be, in some cases, kind of disappointed, kind of kicking himself, kind of saying, oh man, I almost had the 10 grand. At the same time, once he got the lose, he was never supposed to get this far.
That's right. He was the spoiler. So he got a lot further than he expected.
Adam Sarvatari's with you. You see the light. You see the shift points. You're driving all the way with him. Look for one more as they get down past the start-finish line. There it is, but he doesn't take it until he gets past. And boy, are these guys excited. They just banked $10,000. More importantly than that, they've got the bragging rights. So I'll tell you, Mark Vaughn is standing by in the pits with our winner.
Adam, the winner, Adam Sarvatari. Adam, what are you thinking?
Oh man, I'm at loss for words at this point in time. Actually, it was great competition. The Mexican sides they're the pioneers of this whole deal. So we're glad of the opportunity, and all I can say is that thanks to my team, we made it through. As you saw, we barely made it to the last call, but oh man, we're so excited. This is a great event, and we look forward to being involved in the future.
Did you think you were going to win with all those troubles you had with the electronics and the wiring? Did you think you'd win?
Honestly, no. I thought we would be still at the line. I did the best I could just to get it together. The team, they did pretty much everything. I just kind of stood by and kept my fingers crossed. And the domestic cars are very serious, and they have very large displacement motors, so we got lucky this time.
I don't think it was luck, Adam. I think there was a lot of skill involved from you and your crew. Adam Sarwatara, the Import Challenge Drag Championship. And now over to Laura with the runner-up.
Hey, Lon. How you doing? What do you think happened?
Well, he beat me up on the starting line. He got out on me. I got rattled. I didn't have my seatbelts on, and we were hustling to try and get the thing. And I didn't hit the nitrous when I would have liked to, but I think I can put enough power in this thing to get it next time.
You think so, huh?
I think so.
Okay, well, better luck next time. Thank you.
Very much.
Well, let's take another look at the race. Thanks, Laura. Thanks, Mark. This was the showdown, and I'll tell you, it was decided at the start. And Lon seemed to get just right there, get just a little bit sideways when he hit second gear.
That's right.
Yeah, he lost just enough to lose this race.
Yeah, because he was right there. I mean, if you take that away, all of a sudden you've got a photo finish on your hands.
I bet it would have been.
Boy, that was exciting.
Apparently he had a little pressure on the starting line too, as he alluded to in his interview.
Well, that was a surprise a little bit, even to me, that the imports were able to pull it off. You know, I thought horsepower might do it. Hey, let's check in one more time with Mark Vaughn. He's standing by in the pits. Mark?
And to the victor go the spoils. Here you see Adam Sarwatara, a huge trophy, 4 lovely girls from the Kings. And we have a number of people to present the trophy. Campbell McLaren from SEG.
We want to congratulate Adam and all the runners in this great event. We're going to be back in November. It's even going to be better in November, but this is for Adam. Here he can take it home on behalf of SEG Motorsports, and of course Craig Nickerson from McMullen Argus. What a day. This has been a great event. Congratulations, Adam. Okay. We also want to thank the Sacramento Kings breakdance dancers, and they're right. Fast break dancers. Come on, get it right if they're out here. It's the sun, guys. I'm sorry. Here they are. They're going to help Adam celebrate tonight. Thanks a lot. It's been wonderful from this end of the track.
Now back to you, Steve. We're going to be doing some celebrating here in Sacramento tonight and at Mazda headquarters, I'm sure.
I think, Adam, you know, with a $10,000 check, I think you could take us all out to dinner. What do you think?
Let's ask.
That was wonderful. You know, very quickly, Randy, talk one more time. Lon put on a show.
Well,
this boy put on a show.
He sure did. I'd like to thank all the guys for coming out and supporting Popular Hard Rodding Magazine and SEG Motorsports here. It was a great day for everybody.
Adam Sarwatari fans, man, somebody lit a fire under your boy. He sets a new record for a Mazda RX-7. It was incredible. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining us. Look at those guys celebrate. They are $10,000 richer, and you, my friend, are richer for the experience. Thanks for being with us. This was a ball. I gotta go get an air conditioner now. For Mark Vaughn, for Laura Mendez, for Larry Saavedra, for Randy Fish, I'm Stephen Cox. That was too much fun. We'll see you in Vegas.
There's still time to order a pay-per-view excitement. Take a look. In every day, there is a cause worth fighting for.
Have you seen what the elf can do? The elf does its magic with advanced photo system film. Presto, it's lovely. Now take super shots in 3 different sizes. The elf even shows you the whole roll on one print. Have you seen all the elves? Elf, the big name in the advanced photo system from Canon.
See what I mean? Yep. You better update the manual. What do you mean it's going to take 5 months?
Well, first we gotta order the paper, then we gotta order the ink, choose a typeface, layout, separation, bind it.
We're not even talking about collating yet.
business as usual, and there's e-business as usual. HP, expanding possibilities.
Jackie Joyner-Kersee, 6 Olympic medals, a long list of world and American records, the greatest female athlete of our time. Next Sunday, don't miss a very special farewell as her illustrious career comes to a close in her final competitive appearance. Olympic champions gather at the U.S. Open Track and Field Championships next Sunday at 3 Eastern on NBC.
A moment ago, Chris Johnson playing her second.
Tough little chip from behind this green downhill lie, and that well managed. She'll take that.
Now we're live as you take a look at this scoring update brought to you by Golf Magazine. Lots of scores under par. It's been great scoring conditions all week long.
Just for birdie. Ooh.
She's made some really good strokes today, Roger. Just hasn't had a whole lot go in the last couple of holes.
Pretty good attempt there. Just broke around the hole.
Michelle is 31st on the money list. Has already made more this year than she did all of the 97 season.
This putt at Monica Sorenstone. The back left portion of this green is a little bit crowned. So actually, the very back portion of the green runs away toward the back fringe. This putt, I would think, should slip a little right, shouldn't it, Jane?
Yeah, I think so. I had a quick look at it. It looks fairly straight. If anything, it may drift right, Roger. You're right. The low point is at the back. The drainage may take the green going slightly back there as well.
Well, this for an 8-shot lead. And her second straight birdie.
I like her chances.
Me too.
Making it look easy.
At times the game is easy, and she's on that kind of roll right now.
Over at 15, third shot, Joan Pitcock, Kay.
Uphill pitch shot from about 20 feet. And that's setting herself up for a nice birdie, another birdie.
Birdie to get to 10 under, but Annika just moved to 18 under. Now Janice Moody on the tee at the par 3 16th.
Today playing 155 yards. Ooh, and that comes up a little short. Better short than long here.
Now 13, 4 par, Chris Johnson.
Good save.
Playing some of the best golf of her career at age 40. Well, some intriguing holes to finish up here at Waikiki. The final 5 holes feature the toughest and the easiest holes on the golf course. And to take us down for a quick tour, Roger Maltby.
79-yard par 4, most difficult hole on the golf course this week. Players need to drive the ball left to avoid the trees overhanging the right. A second shot with a mid-iron to an uphill elevated green. Deep bunker guarding the front right. Tough par 4. We go to the easiest hole on the golf course at 15, a par 5 of 432 yards. Played down into a valley, second shot uphill to an elevated green. The longest hitters can reach this green in 2. There is always an eagle possibility here. 13 eagles registered on this hole this week. 16, par 3 of 155 yards. And the most steeply sloped green from back to front, protected in front by a bunker, but anything long or left will be difficult to get down in 2. 17th hole, dogleg left, par 4, 396 yards long. The players have to drive over the mounds to the left of the fairway and try to position the ball in the right center of the fairway to avoid the huge elm tree which protects anything down the left-hand side. From there, a short iron second to a green that is accessible, bunkered on the right and left. Birdie a possibility here. 18, a par 5, 481 yards long.